Hello everybody and welcome back to Stellaris, where I just went into Kadraka here because I actually remembered at this point. I went in here and I marked the translucer job as the highest priority job. Now I don't know if that's actually going to move anybody over anytime soon, but eventually maybe. That would be nice. We're attempting to tick forward here. That first day was a doozy, but there we go. We managed to bring that up. It might tick over on the month tick. It might update this. I'm not sure when exactly that updates. But for now, we'll do something like this, and we'll see. We can check in up here and see that we're at minus 19. So if that goes to minus 16 or something along those lines, then we know that that is functioning. Fantastic. So that all looks good for now. Of course, we have a construction ship down here in Siagawa, and it has a fair amount of work to do. No doubt about that. I'm not sure what this entry is. It is not an unemployment, so that is absolutely fine. We probably finished up a order with our construction ship or something. I'm not entirely sure. Yeah, it probably would have been this colony ship that finished. Okay, that is fine. No problem whatsoever there. We need to get as much influence as we can right now, because we do need in Siagawa to build kind of nothing. But over in Namron, I do want to go to Namron Prime and preemptively build an orbital ring. So let's get started on that. Fantastic. So we're down to just 33 influence at this point, and of course that's not a huge amount of influence, but we are currently how far away from here? This doesn't actually say. The automated dreadnought is, of course, a skull. We're more than capable of taking it on with this singular fleet. So I do want to head in here very, very soon. The question is when. So it's about 10 days for each of these jumps. So maybe about 30 days until we arrive at this jump point. I think that's probably fine.
Initial colonization phase.
Let's let it move to Groman, and then we'll go in. I think that's the idea here. Just waiting for it to show up. There we go. In we go. So we're going to arrive here in a few days, and the automated dreadnought is, yes, a single massive warship that has been discovered patrolling the Haldana system. No life signs can be detected on the vessel, but it is emitting a very strong power signature and appears to be bristling with weapon systems. It does not respond to hails. Caution is advised. Look at the size of that thing, indeed. So we're just going to head on over with this fleet. We should be more than capable of eliminating it. Actually, I'm going to move us over here.
Initializing hostile engagement protocols.
We're outrunning our larger ships here with our corvettes. Okay, well, let's get in and attack it. Hopefully we're not going to swarm the star. That would be very awkward indeed. Okay, now we're starting to actually attack this thing. Perfect. So we're whittling down its shields. It's definitely dealt some damage to us. No doubt about that. But downward go its shields. We're about halfway through the shields at this time. The tick rate, of course, is not the best in the world. Oh, that was spicy. So much for that Corvette. Wow, okay. That was quite a shot. No doubt about that. We're through the armor now. Excellent. And the hull is dropping. The hull's basically gone. We've managed to disable the automated dreadnought in the Haldana system. Despite the punishment it took from our ships, the structural integrity of the warship's massive hull remains largely intact. Our boarding parties found the mummified remains of the dreadnought's alien crew still manning their stations. Before expiring, they activated some kind of automated patrol mode, which the limited shipboard AI has been locked in for the past 7.8 million years. Although it would take an incredible amount of resources, some of our engineers believe that the dreadnought can be restored and put back into service with our fleet. It would certainly make for a powerful flagship. So we could do that. Alternatively, we could just do the Leviathan Parade opportunity. This would give us the option of Leviathan Tech Genesis. I don't even know what that does. Let's find out. So we're going to do that. That seems wonderful. We're going to reinforce this fleet, and I want to move it right on back to Sol. So we're going to make sure that it comes in and docks at the station. Looks good. And of course, we want to come up, where are we? Over here. And we want to have our science ship head directly in and begin surveying that system, while this ship heads in and just positions at the star. That'll be fine for now. Cool. So that looks good. Now, what is that tech option? Let's go into our technology here, and let's see here. Is that under engineering? Yes. It allows us to add Leviathan traits to robotic species through species modification. I guess we'll grab it and see what it does. We are, after all, a robotic species. So our ship out in Ambesia is currently idling. There's not a lot to do about it. Can we build around a shattered world, a Habitat Central Complex? We can. Okay, that is noted. We're going to head up there. We don't have the influence to get this going just yet, but we can park up here anyway. 2 new entries. Okay. Surpassing the automated dreadnought. Yeah, the parade opportunity. So, we believe that a parade on Azalash Prime, huh? This is fine. We could hold a parade permanently enhancing Azalash Prime. Azalash Prime is a very powerful world for us, so I'm okay with that. No issues whatsoever. Excellent. So we now need to be waiting on a fair amount of influence, and we are, of course, also waiting on our science ship to finish surveying Haldana. This is the last system, as far as I'm aware, that is unclaimed in the entire galaxy. So that's great. And we need a bunch of influence still. Now, we could theoretically get rid of this construction ship. I think I'm not going to do that just yet. Ooh, we don't have the energy credit stockpile for this. Okay, we should do something about that. Let's sell off some consumer goods and some food. And then it's a deal. Fantastic. I'm also going to sell off some alloys here. And I have no idea how much that got us. 17K? Sure. Sounds good. Okay, so we're at 72 influence right now. Now, the Tigris 2 is going to need some amount of influence for this. How much are we going to need? A truly ludicrous amount of influence. Okay, we're going to need over 600 influence to grab this. That might not be worthwhile. We might want to let the AI grab this. We'll find out. I think what we're going to do is we're going to disband this construction ship. And if the AI grabs it, I'm not going to be too concerned about that. If they don't grab it, which I'm sure that they will. If they don't grab it, we'll grab it later on after we've built up a good amount of influence. But for now, we're not going to prioritize that. That is way too much influence for us. So I would really prefer not doing that. We'll see about grabbing it, but I'm 99% sure that's going to be the AI getting that one. So our gateway has been constructed in terminal egress. That is, of course, great. We can get around much more easily up here now. And we're just waiting on the influence to come in right now to build a habitat out in here. We need 160 for that. That's a fair amount of influence, no doubt about it. What do we have going on in these constructions? That's an orbital ring, orbital ring, orbital ring, and orbital ring. Okay. There's going to be a lot more orbital rings to be built, no doubt about that. But we're going to need a crazy amount of influence shortly. So that's definitely a thing. What do we have going on in Savasik right now? We're still building major orbitals up there. Okay, in Seapooks, we are building our last major orbital. This, I'm almost certainly going to disband this construction ship once that finishes. We certainly can't sustain this construction pace for very long. So that is fine for right now. We are building orbitals out over here, orbitals out over here. A lot of these construction ships will also get scrapped. So that sounds absolutely fine for now. Okay, So at this point, basically all we're doing is waiting for influence to come in. We need influence for every single thing that we want to get finished. Are we still truced with the MechPuck's protectors? We are. For another 3 years. Okay. And how much would it cost us to make all of these claims down here? 80, 40, 100. Okay, so that is a total of 220 over here. No. Hang on. I think I'm mathing wrong. So this is 180. No, I'm right. This is 220. Okay. So that's 220, and then this would then be 280 influence to gain all of this territory. That's a pretty doable thing, to be honest, if we were to stop spending influence on all of our construction. Now, we did just get this world terraformed, so we should colonize this. Absolutely, 100% this should happen. So we're going to do exactly that. That looks good. Wonderful. So on we go up over there, and we're at 124 influence right now, gaining 13 per month. I'd really like to be gaining more than this, but here we are. I don't suppose we can ask the Senate to make ourselves the... I don't think we can. There needs to be a galactic crisis in order to have a custodian. And there is no crisis right now. So, it's unfortunate, but it's about the best we can do as far as influence gains go, I think. Plus 13 is not terrible, but we would definitely like to continue to make some progress here. So the Ganges 2 is idling up here. We're at 137 influence right now. How long do we have on each of these? Okay, we have some time, but not a huge amount. We're going to be idling, I think, a lot of construction ships here, which is very unfortunate, of course. That said, we are about to get up to 150, so not this month tick, but next month tick, we're going to be able to get a habitat built here. So that sounds reasonably good. No problem there, but I would very much like to be able to declare on these guys. I really wish we could use our allied claims. And we can't subjugate them because allies have claims on all of their systems, but we can't declare pushing our allied claims. It's very unfortunate. But alas, here we are. So, what do we want to do for the influence? Well, for now, there's just a lot of construction that we can do, and the construction, unfortunately, will perpetuate the influence issue. So there is that. So we're at 150 right now. On this next month tick, we are definitely going to be getting this built. But there is a finite amount of construction remaining, and the actual amount of construction remaining is fairly small if we're not upgrading our orbital rings. If we are upgrading our orbital rings, which, to be clear, I don't actually plan to do that in this series, if we were to upgrade our orbital rings, that would cost a lot of influence. But I don't think that's, strictly speaking, necessary here. We can just be like, that's something that would happen in the future. It's not a high priority at this moment, right? I think that's absolutely okay. So for now, we're going to get our structures set up in Ambizia. We're going to have nothing more in terms of influence to spend here. And that looks phenomenal. We're actually making very, very solid progress on getting this all completed. There's not that much left to do. We will see if we get Haldana. I would honestly prefer, at this point, if the Minarian Star Dynasty went and grabbed it. I think that would be better. But we'll see if they actually do that. Cool. So our orbital ring in Namron is at 61% as well. We're going to have a lot of construction ships finishing at approximately the same time. Reactor overdrive. So job energy upkeep on Azalash. How much are we actually spending on upkeep here? Some, but not a crazy amount. Okay. We could find the off switch and gain a bunch of engineering research. We We can incorporate it into the performance. That's a 50-50. I think we'll take the engineering research. That sounds good. Okay, so that seems absolutely fine. Azalash is, of course, about as good as it's going to get. We would like to upgrade this to a robot assembly complex. We have 13 available jobs here. Crystal miner jobs. Ah, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. That would be a good thing to get those done. I would like to see some people settling on Azalash Prime. In fact, that's a lot of crystal mining jobs. I'm not actually seeing the available crystal mining jobs in here. Oh, it's on Azalash Secundus. I'm dumb. Okay, so we would go in here, and we would... Yeah, this is the only worker strata job. Okay, so that's fine. That can continue to grow. Sounds good. We are, of course, up to 3,061 pops, and that is looking good. Our economy is definitely improving here, although we are running low on Unity. No doubt about it, and this isn't surprising. We need additional time to work on that, but for now, you know what we could do? We could turn off some of our edicts and just figure out what are we interested in actually having here. I don't think we need to run forge subsidies anymore, to be honest. That'll help our energy credits. We're making plenty of alloys. I don't think we need this. So let's drop off on that one. We're still running the scientific revolution, which I want to do. A grand fleet is, I think, useful for us. We get influence from power projection and naval capacity. So that is something. Capacity subsidies, mining subsidies, and research subsidies. I think these are all very useful. So there is that. That'll at least buy us some time on our Unity. For now. Sometime. I would definitely like to get some additional work done on Unity generation, but we don't have people growth, right? People growth is what we lack. Okay, we can come in here, and is there any additional orbital rings to be built? The answer is no, so we can just head up here and enter orbit and wait for the influence to come in for a location here. That'll be fine. We have 2 notifications here. That's interesting. They went away when I clicked, so they must be starting, like, these colonizations or something. That's okay. We've got a lot of irons in the fire right now. No doubt about that. But we're going to have a lot of construction ships idling very soon. That's for sure. No doubt about that one. We're just going to be very, very, very low on our influence. Yeah, we completed a bunch of these. So the Rubicon 2 is in terminal egress. And once again, we've completed all of our orbital rings here, I believe. Yeah, that one's done, that one's done, that one's done. So all of our orbital rings are indeed completed. So we would like to build an orbital habitat here. But once again, we simply lack the influence to do it for now. So we're going to have some idling construction ships. That is understood and is not particularly surprising at this moment.
Initial colonization phase commencing.
Cool. Always like to have another colony starting up. That is great. We would like to have more pop growth after all. We're up to 3,064 at this moment, and more pop growth would be better. So these construction ships down here, I'm probably going to disband once they finish up. Up over here, we're going to have work to do. These 2 will likely also disband when they finish. However, that's the major orbital. Okay, so in both of these cases, when these finish, they will likely get disbanded. Okay. So it is a bit unfortunate that we're not going to get this system, but as long as it goes to our Federation, it doesn't really matter. We'll let the AI grab this, and fingers crossed that it does go to our Federation, but it should. It definitely should. So that looks absolutely fine for now. We are, of course, going to continue to fight the Mechpuck's protectors. We're not really in a position to do so now, but we are positive on our minerals. That's a good sign. We're not so positive right now on our Unity. Indeed. Edicts are a huge amount of this, and I would like to work on that, but unfortunately, there's just not all that much to do at this moment. So Kundra Prime over here has an orbital ring. We can now enter orbit like out over here. It doesn't really matter where we build this. We can build it literally anywhere. Okay, so this system has been fully surveyed. I want to check to see if there's anything to be done. Apparently there is. Nope, there isn't. Okay, so we'll disband our science ship. We do not need it. Sounds good. So that is done. We are, of course, going to run out of Unity eventually, and that is certainly a bit of a problem. As far as what we would want to drop, well, for now, we don't want to drop anything. Everything that is here is something we want to be running at this moment. The real question is, will that change?
Initial colonization
by the time we run
phase
out?
complete.
We'll find out. So for now, we definitely do want to put in a robot assembly plant. That'll be wonderful. So no problem there. And we've now got this construction ship idling in Namron. So there's not a lot for it to do other than build an orbital habitat, which once again, we do not have the influence to do at this time. We're very, very low on our influence count, and this is us reaping the penalties of no longer having that extra 5 influence per month from the custodian ship. It's very, very sad. But we simply cannot run this number of construction ships at once. That is very, very clear here. More specifically, they're all kind of ending at once, and that's rough, for sure. Let's check in on what these are. There is a planet with unemployment, apparently. That is very interesting. Let's see about dealing with that. Okay, so that is on Azalash Prime. Ah, these guys moved in. Okay, so first off, we're going to want to assimilate these. No doubt about it. So we're going to set rights to assimilation. Perfect. Next, we're going to resettle these somewhere else. And I would like them to go, honestly, to Azalash Secundus, which is in here somewhere. That's Alpha Centauri Secundus. I have no idea where this is because this is sorted in, like, the order that we settled it in, which is very awkward order. No doubt about that. But let's just see if we can find ourselves in Azalash Secundus in this list. It should definitely be in here somewhere. And I'm not sure where. Okay, so that's exciting. I did not notice it there. I guess we'll go a little bit slower this time. I would really like to move all of these specifically. We could move them to this unification station, actually. That's not a terrible idea. Let's do that. We could also move a few technicians over, or artisans even. Okay, something kind of like that. Get a bunch of bureaucrats going on Pandasak. Okay, where is this? Over here in Strubius? Okay, yep. Gotcha. So this is definitely something I'm interested in doing. I want to prioritize the bureaucrats, and we cannot upgrade these because we are lacking rare crystals. Okay, we can buy in some rare crystals here and get all of this upgraded. I want to maximize this. We've actually got a Ministry of Culture and a Hypercoms forum here. That's fine. I definitely want to get more people working here on the bureaucracy. That will be wonderful. So let's get going on that, prioritizing the bureaucracy, and that will be great. This unity will change around a little bit. We've also got Zakati Fortress here. We can resettle that also over there. We're going to need more people there. Here's the unification station. Excellent. So that'll be fine. We'll move another pop over, and hopefully that'll help offset some of this unity. I'm not sure how much we're actually gaining there, but it's probably a decent amount. Now that I think about it. We can check. So if we check in here, planet production currently is 432 unity. Okay. Has that been updated, though? We're going to get the admin parks. And that's going to get us a fair amount of additional unity as well. So that seems good. So let's let this month tick update. We're currently at minus 2440.5. And let's see where this puts us. Minus 2511. It went up. Okay. That's exciting. But we did gain 127,000 unity from our parade here. So that actually buys us a lot of time. That's really good. That buys us a whole lot of time. That's fantastic. I was getting very concerned about our unity situation. But as it is, it's going to be a little while yet. We're done in Seapooks, so we're going to disband this construction ship. We do not need it anymore. Here in Savasik, we're still constructing and will be for a while, but we need a lot of influence, obviously. With that, it is time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that, and next episode, we're going to continue to gather up some influence, and we'll take over the Zenak Continuance fairly soon. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Atala, Ali Lee, Dark Horse, Xenocyte, Upper Cumberland Gamers, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, The Lounge STL, Kentogan, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.